Hello everyone, welcome to Wiki Learnings.
Introduction about myself. My name is Vishwanathan. I am working as a project manager in manufacturing company in Chennai. I am a PMP certified project manager. I have around 13 years of work experience. I currently work in a company called Titanium Equipment and Anode Manufacturing. It's in Chennai. We are making heat exchangers, pressure vessels, cladded vessels, and basically all products which is needed for the petrochemicals, refineries, and engineering industry. In the past, I have worked with Arabian Industries Oman and FLSmith Chennai, in BGR, and also in L&T. I have started my career in L&T as a trainee. I also have I gained credentials in Six Sigma Yellow Belt, and also I gained credentials in Scrum Fundamentals. I am a certified energy auditor too. I was a university rank holder. I stood second rank in my batch. So this is a small brief introduction about me. You can refer my name in LinkedIn. I am very active in LinkedIn. So this is a small introduction about myself. So I have handled multiple products like a complete waste to energy power plant on EPC basis, which has all static and rotating equipments, piping and civil E&I and everything. Then I also worked as a project manager at site. It's a construction site. I have handled pressure vessels, static equipments, shell and tube heat exchangers, air-cooled heat exchangers, and also piping skids and piping spools and process kits. I got a privilege to work for a cycle called the Kalina cycle. Later on, you can Google and you can understand what is Kalina cycle. Normally, the power plant works on Rankine cycle. This is a unique technology. This was developed by a Russian called Dr. Alex Kalina. So it's named as Kalina cycle. Coordinator of all the functions, right? He is a single point of contact to the customer. Okay, so he is a representative of collective functions. Project manager is the only role who doesn't have any individual victory. Basically, if the team is succeeding, he is successful. Otherwise, he is a failure. His life works on and command. Every single department in the organization has to win. Then only he is a successful project manager, right? And so we consider everybody as a stakeholder. Correct. Right from the owner of the company till the the lowest person, let's say a draftsman or a junior engineer, also considered as a stakeholder, right? So everybody is a stakeholder. Actually, everybody carries equal stake. That's very important. Everybody carries equal stake, right? Through the organization types, if you refer the PMBOK, that is a project manager's body of knowledge, which is given by PMI. There are multiple organization types. Okay. One is the organic type, functional type, strong matrix, weak matrix, everything. Okay. Unfortunately or coincidentally, most of our manufacturing companies are coming in this mixed type. That is a balanced matrix. It's coming. Okay. So which means the project manager authority is only low to moderate, where all the functional heads we are carrying the responsibility almost equal to the project managers. But unfortunately, project manager is the only guy who is accountable for the success and who is accountable for the failure. He is the only guy who has to answer to the customer. But whereas the authority is split to all the people. Okay, so the project manager's role is actually a part-time, but whereas the responsibility is for full-time. It is very unique, right? But we can't help. This is how our manufacturing industry works actually. So now what to do? So yeah, we'll see that in the coming slides. So when a project manager is remembered in a fabrication environment, issue in that any idea constraint. This is called a triple constraint in a project manager's language, right? Time, cost, and quality, right? Whenever there is an issue in a triple constraint, a project manager is well recognized, well remembered, right? Next, any issues, project manager is the first guy who will be called off. Okay. Next, any delays or expected delays. Yes, somebody has posted it rightly. Yes, you are right. Okay. And whenever there is a blame game, between the departments, yes, first project manager is well remembered. Okay. And of course, money. Whenever there is a discussion about money, project manager is well remembered, right? And whenever there is upcoming sale, You are working with a customer and your sales manager is bidding with the same customer once again or the repeat order. So you will be well remembered. He will call you and he will ask you what is the issue in the current project, right? Then most important, this is very important. This is called the big boss, that is customer. Whenever a customer shouts, okay, project manager is well remembered because nobody is having the guts or training to face the customer shouting. So project manager is well remembered, right? Somebody, somebody is typing every day, then you have to remember now. So how many times you are remembered in your organization? If the project manager is remembered more oftenly, then your organization is facing more trouble frequently. That is the meaning of this actually. Okay. So what is the challenges a project manager is expected to handle in nutshell? See, a project manager is expected to handle the limited workshop space. So the absence of critical knowledge base is more sales booking at a time, because our sales managers will tell, this is the season I'm booking, you handle. He will tell, you have to handle. There are lack of machine tools, or whatever the existing machines are broken, or the penalty. Most on the prioritization, this is another big subject. But these are all small guys. Very, very important thing is the vicious circle. Okay, let me tell you what is the vicious circle in a project management for a project manager. In fact, see, let us take a project is delayed. Okay, we are analyzing. We will come to know the manufacturing is delayed. That's why a project is delayed. Okay, why manufacturing is delayed? Because the raw material issued to the manufacturing is delayed. Okay, why raw material issue is delayed? Because the inspection is delayed. Why? Because raw material arrival itself is delayed. Okay, why? Because we have placed the PO to the vendor late. Why? Because the vendor delayed to respond to our RFQ. Why vendor delayed to RFQ? Because the last vendor payment also delayed. Why last vendor payment delayed? Because payment from the customer got delayed. Why payment from customer got delayed? Because the last project is also got delayed actually. Holy crap, right? So how many of you have come across this situation? Like you are not actually responsible for a particular project delay, but whereas you are forced to answer for the delay. How many of you have come across this situation actually? Is expected to handle what? Is effectiveness is measured in terms of what? 100% project delivery within CDD. There should not be any LD burden, okay? And the execution profits should increase. And the customer should never complain, correct? But so how do we balance this actually? See, I have come across, I have given enough of thought about this. Then what I understand is, see, we have, as I told, all the stakeholders are carrying equal stake. Okay, so there is no individual success or individual failure for a project manager. It is basically a team success, right? So if a project manager has to win, technically he has to make his team win, right? So he has to empower his team basically, so that everyone is winning. And also it's not one time. The team members has to win consistently. Okay, consistently every time the team has to win, so that the project manager is successful, right? How how can you do it? Okay, just by putting some extra effort or firefighting or war food, you can win it one time, right? But how you do it every time? How can you assure a consistent win to your stakeholder? Each and every department in your organization has to win. How is it possible? So for that, I am recommending 10 practices. Basically, these are emerging practices which is followed in the fabrication industry currently. So from my experiences and my own thought process, I am defining. I have collected these. At the end of the session, we can discuss about the practices. Okay. So the prerequisite is you do not need any money. Basically, you do not need any investment. Major investment you don't need. But of course, you need your management support for this. Okay. You may need your management support. That's for sure. Okay. So first, in my 10 ideas, first idea number 1 is transforming people. This is the biggest challenge in any organization actually. So out of my 10 ideas, I will give this transforming people, I will give more than 50% weightage. I will give it to this idea alone. See, that people have to think that this is the time to be accountable. Okay, they have to behave, they are accountable for what they are doing. We have to create that feel. How can we create that feel? We can do it alone, or we can also do it through some help of some external consultants, through some senior people in the organization through different kind of exercises, different one-on-one session. There are multiple things to get this uh, the feel of ownership, basically. Okay, but if it, as of now, what is the level of ownership in your organization? Or the people are telling openly that yes, this is my job. I have not done it. I have not done it on time. I have delayed it. Anybody saying like that? No. People are only blaming. People are only pointing fingers on each other, right? So how can you increase this sense of ownership? This is a very important thing because we are going to deal with the people's mind. We are trying to change the people's habit. Okay, so it will take some time. If you start now, you can see the results of say around 4 to 6 months. Okay, so it is a little bit time consuming process. But if let us say, how many of you are aware of Pareto analysis? See, 20% of the 80% of the problems are causing only because of 20% of the reasons, right? 20% only causing all the problem. It is like that. If you behave this irresponsible and the non-accountable people are their thought, if you change them, 80% of your project problems are solved actually. How this is a little bit, this is only 1 hour session, so I'm just throwing only insights. So how to attack it in detail, that we can discuss in a separate session. Okay, so this is a very important subject, and out of my 10 ideas, I'm giving more than 50% weightage for this particular idea alone. This comes as a first priority. Anybody wants to change the way of executing the project, the way the project goes in your organization, you must work on the people's accountability first. This is the number one takeaway for you. Number two, dynamic KPIs. See, every year we are giving the same KPIs to all the functions, and we are expecting different results. How is it possible? We have to change the KPIs every time. Okay, according to the change in business needs. You need not to break your head. What is change in business needs? It's very simple. Just sit and think for whatever the things your customer is not happy in your last financial year. Just list down. Those are the business needs of yours. That is your need of the hour. Just split those points and give it to the correct stakeholders as a KPI. Okay. I know you cannot do it alone. You need your management's intervention. You need the management support. I do agree. That's why in the initial itself I told this idea is need your management support as well. Okay. Number 3, this is called sub-zero concept. This is basically my brainchild. I am in fact thinking of going for trademark also. See, what I'm saying is we all start working after the receipt of order, right? We are trying to basically reinvent the wheel. The wheel was kind of invented at the time of sale itself. If we start working that time itself, we could have saved so much of hours. You could have experienced, instead of starting a fresh work morning 9 o'clock, if you do just a small portion the previous day night, you could have saved a lot of hours on the next day morning when you start it. Okay, this is the same concept, sub-zero. When you are thinking this project is very, very important and you must execute it on time, etc., you have to start working before that contract comes to you. If you are not getting the contract, it's still okay. Only your efforts are lost. If you get the contract, your image, your reputation, your revenue, everything is going to be lost. Okay, so you can always work in coordination with your sales team before the job comes to your hand for execution. Okay, how can you do it? There is another concept I am proposing called overlap. Okay, this overlap is a project manager can always work overlapping with a sales manager. Okay, now we have a concept. A proposal design is done by someone and a detail engineering is done by someone else. Okay, why a same engineer cannot do both? So that he carry a sense of ownership and lot of time is saved. You can recall my example of starting things fresh at morning 9 a.m. and instead you can do some 5% of the work the earlier day evening and start at next day morning 9 a.m. There will be a remarkable difference of saving of time. Okay. Similarly, the estimation and purchase can be done at one umbrella. Design and planning can be come under one umbrella. Okay. We are all hiring trainees, right? Instead of hiring them and training them and wasting 1 year, you call them under internship, and you can always observe them as a trainees, right? See, There is no free lunch in the world. You have to pay little very nominal amount of stipend. You can always get a good people, and you can gauge them whether they are interested in the our manufacturing field or not. Then you can give them a job as a trainee. Okay, this is some of the concepts I'm proposing overlap, because this is in connection with my Sub-Zero idea. Okay, very soon I'm going for a trademark of this Sub-Zero concept. So this overlap is to help that Sub-Zero. Next is tracking and chasing platform. See, remember one thing, guys. Whatever is gets measured, it gets managed. Okay, if you are bored of recording the issues, if you are bored of monitoring the issues, then project management or being a planning engineer is not your cup of tea. You have to record each and every issues. It may be a smaller, it may be a bigger. It can be involving your top management. It can be involving any of the stakeholders. It can be design, finance, marketing. It doesn't matter. You have to record it somewhere and you have to track it. If you are not doing it, so I'm sure you would be tracking your jobs in some or other way. But if you are not doing it, so please do it. You don't need any hype fundas softwares, any no need not to invest anything. A simple Microsoft Excel will do. It's up to you. It's your interest whether you want to chase the things or not. You remember, again I'm repeating, if whatever you gets measured, it gets managed. Okay, if you are tired or if you are bored of asking the same questions every day, if you are bored of tracking the things, then definitely you cannot expect any positive results. This is a very tricky in project management, but little bit boring subject also, but still we have to do, no other option, we have to do. Okay, and number 6, manageable decomposition. This is linked with the idea of 5. Okay, we all agreed that we have to track the issues, right? So to what extent we have to decompose? So the project management body of knowledge, this is like a code book, like how the ASME for designers, it is PMBOK is the same equivalent to ASME for project managers. Okay, it is given by Project Management Institute USA. What PMBOK says is, as the work is decomposed to a greater level of details, the ability plan and manage control work is enhanced. So you have to limit at one place. When you want to beyond that, if you decompose the work, if you break down the work, it will add more efforts to you. Okay, you should not do it. So you have to come to some point where you can manage it. Example, completion of a shell, it doesn't give any meaning. You can never measure it actually. Instead, if you go if you want to, if you cut down that to further progress, like completion of 6 shell courses, completion of 5 search sims, completion of 4 long sims, it has some meaningful tracking. Okay, if you are not doing it now, this is the right time you can do it. For this, there is no what you call investment or any idea. Nothing is required. Just you have to pat down your planning little more. That's it. Number 7 is time boxing. So anybody is having an idea of Scrum, you must be definitely knowing this time boxing principle. Okay, are you aware of Parkinson's law? See, if you give what Parkinson's law says, if you give 1 day to your designer, he will give that design at the end of the day only. After 9 hours, he will consume all 9 hours. Okay, but whereas if you give only 1 hour to your designer, he will exactly give the same design after 1 hour also. We can very much do the same work within the allotted time. So on other way, the work expands to fill the time available for its completion. This is called Parkinson's law. This works on the concept of psychology. After over a period of time, many people have analyzed it, and Mr. Parkinson has put it in the right words. The same, see, I'm showing a typical example with my experience. We are starting the project with the full energy, full enthusiasm. Okay, but the design department takes a little more, 2 to 3 weeks additional. Okay, next the planning department will take another 2 weeks additional. Okay, next the procurement department will take another 4 to 5 weeks additional. Okay, all put together, finally when it comes to a production stage, the project is literally running without any buffer. Correct or not? So how many of you have come across this situation? Almost we all, right? Almost we all actually, right? See, one more I'll tell you. have you ever experienced the previous project is still in your shop floor, whereas the new project has come and gone? Almost both are same products. Both are technically should take the same lead time, whereas the last in went first out, but still the first in is still lying in your shop floor. Have you ever come across this situation? Yes, we do, right? Yes, of course. See, the one thing people are not understanding, what is that, the value of time is not same throughout the project life cycle. That's very important, actually. See, we last year, what we see, we will be having some 10,000 rupees, let's say. The value of the 10,000 is not same last year and this year, right? Same is the case. We got 2 weeks. As a project manager, when you want the 2 weeks, you tell me, customer is telling you, I am giving you a grace period of 2 weeks. When you need the 2 weeks, you will take it at the initiation phase, or you will take it at the completion phase, or you will take it at the mid phase. What's your call? Please ask yourself. You did not have to answer me now. I'm telling you, the value of the time is not same throughout the project life cycle, right? Why people are not understanding this? Why people are taking more time? Because they have issues in prioritizing their task. They don't know if, see, all the issues are important, of course, no doubt, but there has to be something which is more important. People have to work for that. If someone asks you what is the priority, do you have what people have to do on priority? Do you have? If your QC manager, your design manager, and your project your planning manager and your workshop manager, all four people are calling you today evening and asking what is my priority, please tell me. Do you have the list with you? The priority for the design engineer is need not to be the same as the priority of the project engineer, right? Priority of the design engineer need not to be same as priority of the production manager, right? So do you have the priority list with you? First, my question is that please ask yourself. If you have it, it's good. If you do not have it, kindly work on it. You should have a priority list so that you can tell people what you need, so that you can fix the priority to them and you can get the work done from them, right? And number 8, this is a very interesting subject. See, many of the times we are having a debate within our organization, like our competitor has taken this job for a very challenging target. Competitor has taken this job for a very stringent price, right? What you are discussing, or you are in rather debating, what made us to lose or what made them to win? So what answers you will get? Generally you will get they have more manpower, they have better infrastructure, so they can deliver it faster, they have better system. Some of the people even will say it is impossible, they are just taken, they don't know the quantum of the work, they got more space, their management is very aggressive. Everything will tell. Even some of the people will blame you also. You are bluffing, they would not have taken for this delivery. You have lost the job, so you are just bluffing to me. Even they will tell. But see, I'm asking one question. Let us assume we got everything what our competitor got. Can we do the same job if all resources were given? If all resources what our competitors got, can we do the same job? Please ask this to your resource. Definitely we all must have lost some of the jobs to our competitors. It's part of business, right? Today evening after this call, take your management or your stakeholder committee in a conference call. Just put this question: we have lost so and so job against so and so person. What do you think is the reason? Probable reason. Just ask. I am sure you will get one of this answer, right? But nobody is telling one thing. That is, they are utilizing the time effectively, which we are not. Okay, we are sleeping, whereas our competitors are working. That is very important thing. Which is the hard fact, which we are not able to accept it, right? There are, in order to increase your bank balance, what do you need to do? You have to two methods are there. Either you have to increase your income, or you can cut down your expenses, right? Similarly, if you want to increase your efficiency, you have to go for the better infrastructure, better machine tools, increased sophistication, many things. But it's linked with many other things. Your ROI, what is the business case, what is the potential you have, market conditions, order in pipeline, so many things actually, which is not in your control. But you can always minimize your idle time, right? Which will indirectly improve your revenue, improving your efficiency. All the concepts like 5S, Kaizen, theory of constraint, what do you call, Six Sigma, Kanban, Lean, everything works on this principle only. You can work on your own to minimize your idle time. How? Is it very simple? Just record the chronology. How much time your design guys have taken to release the revision zero drawing? Last project, this project, next project, next project, and next project. Just take the data and analyze it. You will come to know whether your design department is improving or consistently maintaining or deteriorating. Same is the case. How much time your procurement guy is taking to bring the material? If I ask you a question just out of the air, let's say Good Luck Forging, he is an EAL approved vendor. We all buying tube sheets and forgings from him, right? Good Luck Forging is supporting your contract or not. If I ask you a question, do you have a right straight answer, yes or no? You do not have an answer. You do not know. They would have supported you for one project. They would have not supported you for the other project. How much time they are normally taking for delivery? Do you have any database? Do you, if I give you an option, all three vendors are quoting same price and same delivery. Do you have any a bench basis to which vendor you need to choose? Do you have any database? No. I'm asking another question. How much time your QC manager will take to give you a first cut of quality plan? Do you have any idea? You have idea from based on the past history, 15 days, 10 days. Okay, why the 15 days is needed? You are giving the same you are giving the same supplying the same heat exchanger, same pressure vessels for the last 50 years. Still, why 15 days are required? Have you ever asked this question? Because that is based on his workload. He is not able to prioritize it. Fine, you are giving the priority also. Still, why he needs 15 days? Because the amount of time he spends for the idle task, spends for the non-priority task is more. How can you control it actually? For this, you can work on a mechanism. This, as I told, this is only an insight session. So detailed discussion will take more time. So it's just an insight session. Just take a note of it. You what is it? The key influencing stakeholders in your company can discuss and debate and come to a platform. See, one, as I told, let me complete all 10, then I will give. See, another one is rewards and recognition. Okay, just to recall yourself how many times you have told thank you and good work to your guys. Okay, you just introspect yourself. We are thinking the other stakeholders are need to do their work because it is their work. Company is paying them. That's all we are thinking. Have you ever said you have done a good job? I am my project LD is saved because you have done the document on time. My project LD, my face is saved in front of customer because you could able to manage the show during the customer visit. Have you ever conveyed this gratitude to your team members? Have you ever got a chance to fix the incentive for your team members, or have you ever got a chance but still you have not recommended anyone? We all have come across these situations, right? We could have done something to our team members. We could have appreciated them. We could have told thank you. We could have told just a small notice, just a small recognition in our company group, in our open forum. But we are not doing it because we are thinking it is his job. It's not like that. So we have to we can start this rewards and recognition right away, right now. In the earlier days, there used to be a man of the month, man of the week, a good employer, a highly contributing employer, highly creative employee, so many things. Nowadays, we are not seeing anything, right? How many of you have received any award from your employer, like you are doing good, your contribution is good? How many of you have got any special incentive or anything, right? No, because this drive is gone. As a project managers, we fail to continue this. And most important lesson, the last lesson is please give back to the society. You know, there are some critical resource in your company, like your design manager is the only guy who knows a lot of critical things, but he fails to come educate his juniors. You know that. You are always going and waiting for someone's that guy only will do always do a good design, so let him take from him only, like you are telling. You are always waiting for the dependency. You are always creating the monopoly internally. It's not you creating, the system has created, it is existing in your company, but you have not taken, as a project managers, we have not taken any efforts to break the monopoly, right? We have not taken any steps to pass on the knowledge from one source to the another source, right? How many of you are conducting lessons learned review in your organization? how many of you are conducting a periodic knowledge transfer sessions from one department to other department? Any of your organization is having a inter-department transfer where QC can go and work in design, design can go and work in purchase. Yeah, any how many of we are following actually? Just please introspect yourself. If it is not there, this is the right time for you to adopt. Okay. So these are the 10 ideas which is the emerging concept for the successful project management. See, my point is we all are executing the projects in one or other way, right? The only thing is how we can be more systematic. That so for that I have come up with these 10 ideas. These 10 ideas you can implement on your own. You do not need any consultant. You do not need to invest any money. You do not need any external support, basically, right? Only one thing you need is your little bit of time and little bit of dedication. That's all. Okay. Of course, for transforming the people, yes, you may need a consultant. You may need an external mind. You may need someone senior outside your organization. Yes, that's acceptable because we are trying to change the people's habit. Okay, that's okay. But the rest of the things you can go directly. Also, one more thing, you need not to follow the chronology. You can choose anyone. Out of these 10, you can choose anyone actually. If let us say you are not having any time boxing concept, the meetings will go on and on and on. Meeting will go for 2 hours to fix the priority, whereas at the end of the meeting there is absolutely no priority decided. So in that case you can always fix the time boxing. You can choose any out of these 10, you can pick any one or more than one, and you can go for immediate implementation, and you can see massive results. You can do anything. You can directly go for the overlapping right away from tomorrow. You can directly go for setting the KPIs. This is the start of the financial year. You can always set a dynamic KPI. Okay. You can choose any one or more than one or all 10. You do not to follow any order that you have to follow complete step 1, then you have to go for step 2. There is not absolutely no dependency. You can choose anyone. Okay. You can always ask what will I get after implementing one of these or all of these? What will I get? How a project manager's life in future going to be? Okay. So this is the second takeaway from this session for you guys. First, number 1 is on-time delivery. Okay. Now, as of now, a project manager, let us say a customer has made a mistake in design, made a mistake in feasibility study. We are able to negotiate 1 month additional, and we are delivering the job within that 1 month. Still, the project manager is considered as effective project manager. Okay. The job is delivered on time. But in future, it's not going to be the case. That project manager will be considered as a not a effective project manager. Though the customer is delayed the job, we are accountable because you should be familiar with that sub-zero concept. You have to make the customer also accountable for the sub-zero. The management will think customer has delayed the project for 1 month. Okay, but that 1 month, that particular product is occupying my shop floor, which is making a revenue loss of 3 or 4 times of that particular project. Okay, so this on-time delivery will be the key measuring factor for effectiveness of a project manager. Though for everybody's mistake, for everybody's what is a change in the demand, in changes, design changes or whatever, then project manager will be accountable for this. So in order to still deliver the job on time, we have to engage everyone from the beginning, including customers, including sales, including design, everything. So my concept of overlap and sub-zero will help you in this case. Okay. Next is QHSE. See, if this QHS is quality, health, safety, and environment, right? If any quality issues happen in your project, though the quality manager is responsible, the project manager will be accountable. It is evidence that the project manager has not planned the job properly. Any safety incident happen in the project, it's very clear that the project manager has not planned the job properly. So the project manager's effectiveness will be measured in terms of QHSE. Okay. Then another one is COPQ. This is cost of poor quality. If you supply anything wrong, if we do anything which is beyond the specifications, which is giving us, making us to go to the site or attend the repairs or rework, etc., this will directly affect the performance of a project manager because it shows the project manager has not understood the requirement correctly. Project manager has not engaged the stakeholders correctly. Project manager has not planned the job correctly. So the COPQ will be the next emerging measuring scale of the effectiveness of the project manager. Okay. Next is Customers happiness index. See, now we all are traveling towards industry 4.0, right? So this customer happiness index, the system will automatically take based on the email exchange between you and your customer, based on the words, based on the vocabulary, based on the words the customer used in his email, the system will automatically give a rank. So you cannot, you will be forced to get a good appreciation emails from your customer. For that, you have to deliver. So you have to work hard. So this customer happiness index will be another measuring scale for the effectiveness of a project manager. Next is operating profits. So because of the delivery pressure, because of the market pressure, our sales will book the project with a less margin, just 1 or 2%. He will ask you to enhance the margin by another 2% during the execution. So we will be completely accountable for the operating profits. So the time is money, right? So in the operating profit, basically to enhance operating profit, you have to deliver the job as early as possible. To deliver as early as possible, your understanding and your planning is very much essential. It is it's immaterial what is the operating profit your sales manager has booked. Still, you will be requested to enhance the operating profit during the execution. And next is loss in repeat sales. Say a customer is a repeat, your customer, let's say a gold customer, a platinum customer who always places say a 10 crore worth of order to you every year. 1 year he has not placed order and he is telling your execution is not good. I am not happy with the execution. Let's say he is quoting like that. Then it would be a tough time for a project manager. The project manager's success will be measured if in terms of loss of repeat sales. This is another emerging trend. And next is continuous improvement. As I told, what is the action you have taken to minimize the idle time? What is the action you have taken to minimize the cycle time? What is the action you have taken to accommodate more tonnage or more square feet of the work or the equipment under the same workshop space? This will be measured. This will be another emerging trend to measure the effectiveness of a project manager. Okay. Next is Scrum approach. This is called rugby approach. That is, have you seen a rugby game? A ball is passed between the team. The ball is passed among the team members, but the team will always go towards the goal, right? This Scrum approach will be like that. Today the project is in design phase. The drawing will go to planning. Planning will give the drawing to purchase. So as a team, then issue will be always passed between the team members, but as a team we are always going towards a goal. Okay, this Scrum and Agile will take over all the industry. Even the PMBOK, the Project Management Institute, has given PMBOK 4th edition. Within no time they have revised it to 5th edition. Within 2 years they have revised it to 6th edition. Even I have got my PMP credentials in 6th edition. Now in 2021, next year they are going to revise it to 7th edition. 50% of the changes are based upon the Scrum and Agile approach. So the Scrum approach is another emerging practice which a project manager needs to adapt. If so in what you call the custom way of executing the project won't work. Actually, he will be out of the game. So we have to update ourselves. That we will be forced to update ourselves. So next is industry 4.0. So as I told, in industry 1.0, there was only steam engines and mechanical links, cams, CADs, etc. Then industry 2.0, all the electric motors have come, hydraulic actuators have come, pneumatic actuators have come. The industry 3.0, all the electronics have come. So many electronics and instrumentation engineers have come, all the PLCs, SCADAs and automations have come, robots have come. Now the industry 4.0, where the machine learning and artificial intelligence will come. The machine learning and artificial intelligence will make everything automatic. The fitting will be automatic, welding will be automatic, turning will be automatic, everything will be automatic. So in that case, the project managers will be forced to work dynamic. Everything is transparent, and knowledge base will increase so much. You can't tell any this is our company secrecy, this is a proprietary. You can't tell anything actually. It is completely transparent to the customer. The customer is as educated as you. Even nowadays itself, the trend is started. Like all the EPC companies are taking the subject matter experts. Earlier they used to take only from the EPC. Now they are taking, if they want a rotating equipment engineer, they are taking from a turbine guy. If they want to static equipment designer, they are recruiting people from a static equipment company. So you cannot do it. You cannot give any false facts to customer, and you cannot borrow time. So the industry 4.0 will make the things more transparent. If the things are more and more transparent, then it is very difficult for us to manage the customer unless we streamline our system. So you must follow the 10 ideas what I have proposed. Actually, I have not proposed anything new. It is already there in the system. It is already there with the people. So it is up to us. Just we have to adopt it. That's it. And number 10, it's last but not least, it's a quicker will survive. Okay, let's say we are giving a 99% perfection equipment, 1% there is a minor error, but we are able to deliver let's say 6 months. Somebody else is ready to give 100% perfection, but he wants 10 months. Customer is ready to accept 1 month imperfection because of the 40% savings in time. So the time will decide everything now. Even that time will be traded against the price. The quicker will survive. If you cannot make the equipment quicker, you cannot compete with your competitors in terms of delivery, then it is a high time you would be thrown out of the business in very soon. Now quicker will survive. Other there is no survival for anyone. This is a 10 future KPIs for the project manager, and it is a future out of this. From this 10 only, the KPIs of the project managers will be decided for the for manufacturing people. Okay.
I need a small clarification. You talked about sub-zero or zero concept. What was that?
Yeah, I'm talking about sub-zero concept, sir. Actually, what I'm telling is, if it is a new, let us say, a sales manager is spend a lot of time and energy and sold a project. After that, the project manager is starting all over again. He is trying to reinvent the wheel all over again, actually, which I am saying is not required. We can always overlap, project execution can always overlap with the sales department, and we can start the start execution before even we get the order. If at all we don't get the order, it's okay. Still, that those efforts are wasted. But if we get the order, the amount of time we are going to save and the amount of revenue we are going to directly produce, it will definitely compensate the efforts what we are spending there. So how we can overlap also I have proposed. Like normally in fabrication industry, design engineers and proposal engineers are two different wings. Instead, we can always fix one guy who has done the proposal. He can always go to the design. Similarly, who has estimated, he can always procure the material. Who has the design, he can always release the shop planning. So like we can always do little bit overlap without much of adding any what do you call it, investments. So this is a sub-zero concept, sir.
It's very good actually. Normally what happens is that proposal department, they will keep making documentation which will not be properly evaluated or not giving any credit, and when it comes to engineering, they start afresh.
Correct.
Not sure about manufacturing industry. Since I am from a project side, I can tell you this happens everywhere.
Yeah,
so
you're
it
right.
will be a good move.
Good. Thanks, sir. Actually, I am planning to trademark that word sub-zero. Let's see, I have to check the other formalities. So thank you, sir. Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, it's good. I liked it.
Thank you, sir.
Vishwa, I have one question.
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Muhammad Rahil, please.
So at first point you told that this is very important point, like 50% of your activity will finish if you will apply this in your project management. Correct. Can you repeat this point? First thing is this, and second question is, in fabrication industry, basically I'm also working in a fabrication shop. We are also a manufacturer of pressure vessel and heat exchanger and the processes kits. So what do you think, what are the major things we have to apply in order to success our project in terms of on-time delivery and under budget and in a good quality, according to your experience?
Yeah, sure. See, the first idea what I told is making the people feel accountable. People should not just come and do their work. People have to feel they are accountable. They are adding value to the project. Whatever the decisions they are taking, not even the actions, even the thoughts what they have, it will influence the project positively or negatively. That the sense of ownership they have to have. The people have to feel they are accountable for the delivery, for what they're supposed to do. That the sense of accountability feeling we have to give it to the people. If you once the key stakeholders get that feeling, then 50% of your problem solved. This concept works on the Pareto principle. You know Pareto principle, right? 80% of your problems are occurring because of the 20% reason. If you fix the 20%, no, all your 80% problem will be solved. You can introspect, you can just think in a separate place, just write down who all are your key stakeholders. Design, you need not to tell the names and anything now, you can do it yourself. What is it, what are all your key stakeholders? Design, manufacturing, say procurement, say welding engineer, a QA engineer. Just give a score from 1 to 10 scale. Are they behaving responsibly? Are they behaving accountably? Have they ever delivered a deliverable without you being followed them up? Have you ever taken notes in a meeting? Have you ever followed their own notes without even you being followed them up? Have you ever come upfront and told, yes, this is my job, I have committed to give you, but I couldn't give you. I will give you tomorrow. Have you ever told you? Please analyze for your organization. If you think the people are not come across on their own, people have never come upfront, it means they feel it means the lack of ownership is very less in your organization. That you have to improve. For that, there are multiple sessions are available, multiple ways are available. You can go through a HR consultant, you can go through systematic mentorship. You can also ask people from the industry to speak, like how you are attending this webinar. Similarly, you can go for a little more experienced guy. You can always invite, you can call professionally qualified PMP guys to give a talk about the ownership. Through experiential learning, you can have, there are multiple ways of doing it, but that sense of ownership has to improve. And over a period of time, you are understanding that a few guys, we cannot create any ownership. Those guys have to be kept out of the project because they are creating the problem. That is a little bit a hard decision, but that you have to take. Otherwise, your project will never come into the shape. So this is the first point I am telling. Since we are talking to the, we are trying to change the habits of people. We are trying to change the mindsets and thought process of the people. It cannot be implemented overnight. It will take 4 to 6 months through a systematic approach. Someone may feel offended. Somebody may be much elder than you in your organization. You know he is not doing good, but you cannot have much control over him. So, because as I told, we are working on a functional type organization where the project manager is having only moderate to low authority. Whereas the project manager is fully accountable to answer to the customer. He is the first, he is standing in the first line to take the heat, but he is not having much authority. So we are living in this functional or type organization in the manufacturing industry. So it will take some time. Then to answer to your next question, I recommend immediately to go with the time boxing. Rule number 7. You do not need any investment. Just take a piece of paper and write what is the time taken for your designer to release a revision 0 drawing for the last 20 projects. What is the time taken for your procurement guys to place the major raw materials for the last 20 projects? What is the time taken for your QA manager to clear the received material inspection? What is the time taken for your production manager once all the materials are given? What is the time taken for the production manager? For a typical, you are taking a pressure vessel, let's say of 50-ton carbon steel. Just take only those projects. Just sit down with the data. If you do not have any data, keep the Excel sheet open and try to feed in. After 3 or 4 months, you will have a data. You analyze it whether your designers are improving or maintaining consistently or deteriorating. If you think they are maintaining consistently, try to give them a challenging target. Let's say your designer is now taking 5 days for a drawing. You give them a target that they must complete in 3 days. They will complete in 3 days based on Parkinson's law. Okay, we have tried it and it is working fantastically. If it is because of a sales pressure, because of a market pressure, your sales manager has agreed delivery of a heat exchanger, let's say for 6 months, whereas technically you will always take for 8 months. You are still delivering that one job for 6 months, right? As a one special case, you are able to deliver it within 6 months, right? So why you cannot consistently do it in 6.5 months? It is definitely possible. Some little bit discipline is there. So I would recommend you to go with the time boxing first, And also, if you go with the time boxing, you should also take my rule number 9, that is rewards and recognition. You need not to pay, you need not to spend money. You just have a courtesy of thank you all. Put some standard format saying you are employee of the week, we are very much happy, give something, one small email kind of a thing, so in a open forum where others can see. So this will help. Hope I
Thank you
answered.
so much.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, thank you so much.
Navi, I have a second question now.
Yeah, please, sir. Please.
See, the world is changing now, and even before a project is booked, people talk about failures, and then they will engage lawyers to make a fantastic document called contract or a PO.
Correct.
Now, everything is fixed up in that. Is it becoming a limitation for a project manager? Or how do you handle when such tough situation comes? What is your take on that?
Yes. Actually, even PM box says a defined contract is a constraint. A deadline given a CDD is a constraint. Project budget is a constraint. Even a PM box says like that. So I agree with you, sir. There is the perfectly defined contract is a constraint only, but we have to find some loopholes somehow. That loopholes can be found out only in the technical front, not on the commercial front. We have to link the technical and commercial like that. At the time of bidding, the thickness was so and so, the specification was so and so. Now it has been changed, that we are ready to do it for free of cost, but the decision on to come from that point to that point taken 2 weeks. Please give me the 2 weeks. Like that, we have to arbitrate without hurting the customer's feelings. Somehow, diplomatically, we have to get the things, but there are always possibilities there. As my take is, there is always a possibility is there. As long as the customer feels we are putting honest efforts, customer is always ready to give.
Yeah. But in one part of your presentation, you said even though customer is giving you more time, as a project manager, you're not supposed to use that. Then you will be rated as not an efficient project manager. So both clashes, right?
Yes, this is upcoming trends, sir. You are completely right. It is clashing at this moment, but it would be the upcoming trend. Though the customer is giving additional time, our owners, our managements will not allow us to use the additional time. Let's say customer is placed one crore worth of order, which is occupying 3 months of additional time in our shop floor. Instead of keeping that equipment for 3 months at shop floor and making a revenue of 1 crore, we can always dispatch it on time and we can make a much bigger revenue from the same time, from the same shop floor space, from this using the same resource actually. So it just because the customer giving time, we are not, we should not allow to take the time. We should work opposite to the Parkinson's law. That rule will come from management as a in future. So it is an emerging trend. Project manager has
Trend.
for that. So that is the point I'm trying to convey, sir. Actually.
Yeah. It's a very valid point and it's a very good point. It applies not only in manufacturing industry. I think even in projects also it is like that. The project managers can be used to take another project, right? If you're continuously getting engaged with the problems and you're not able to come out, because closing a project is a very, very important aspect.
What I feel that a project manager's life while working is endless in the current fabrication scenario. There is need some structured work KPIs for a project managers, and accordingly he should work. And that this structuring of work of project manager is required in this scenario and near future.
Manager can need to be organized. What are all the things he has to have in his everyday diary? How we can track the job, how we can perform better. That we can have sessions separately. Actually, is to help the people so that I can help myself. So we can always stay connected on academic purpose.
If you like the content, kindly subscribe, like, and share this channel with your network. Thanks in advance.